Hey y'all, historian Justin Vipperman out here at Stricker Ranch and the Rock Creek Station. A few weeks back I was able to attend an event for the grand reopening of Stricker Ranch and the Rock Creek Station to celebrate the $600,000 that's been put in to the park out here. One of the things that I wanted to share today, although there's a lot of stories that I'd like to share, I'll do that at another time, but I wanted to wait until maybe it wasn't as windy to come out and do this. And I think the wind always blows in southern Idaho, and so really the best way is to come out and to do a video, and hopefully you all can hear me. The reason that I was invited out is because I'm on Preservation Twin Falls, and I'm also a board member at the Friends of Idaho History, or the Idaho State Historical Society Foundation. But the Idaho State Historical Society Foundation Board and Preservation Twin Falls, in connection with the Kevron Trust, the Bowers Trust, and the Seagraves Family Foundation, put in $600,000 to revamp some of the signage and do a few other things here, which I'd like to show you briefly here today. The big one here is this pavilion, which is the brainchild of Paul Smith, who is our region's trustee at the Idaho State Historical Society. He's the one that is really in charge of doing a lot of those things, and I work with Paul on Preservation Twin Falls. This pavilion he put up specifically for children to come out and to have a tour, but instead of having maybe a tour, they can push a button down below this TV and be able to watch a video that would provide some other information there. There's a lot of things that are going on out here at Stricker, and hopefully what this video does is it allows you a little insight, and then hopefully you'll come out and tour the grounds. I just want to show you a couple of things that I think are fascinating on top of the house and some of the other historical things that are here. We did some of these signage, some of the signage that is around. We did some of the signs that are out and direct you out here just out south of Kimberly. But these interpretive boards were all paid for through that $600,000. And as you can see, as I turn around here, there are several signs that we've done that were put up throughout the site. This site is so important. It's such an important site on the Oregon Trail. It's one of it's the premier site on the Oregon Trail because it's still intact. And because it's still intact, you can come out and take a look at and see what was going on the Oregon Trail. But also, it's really significant to the Magic Valley, because Twin Falls actually grew up between two stage stops. This stage stop here, as well as the desert station by the old hospital. Okay, without these stage stops, we don't have Twin Falls. Okay, and there's other things there. It can't just be black and white. But really, Twin Falls grows up behind that. This is the Stricker store, which when you come out, when it's open, you can definitely go inside and take a look. And then there are some other things here as well, including some ways that the site is trying to help and show minorities that were here as well. Okay, the big thing, one of the big things, and a lot of the money went to these cellars. So there's a dry and wet cellar here. These cellars are really important, but they were deteriorating, and so a lot of the money went to the upkeep of those. Those things were done to match the time period. So they've cut wood. They've got wood rafters. It still looks great. I think that I can take you inside. It just might be dark. You might not be able to see inside here. There we go. That's all right. So as you can see, we've redone the woods up on top here, the wood up on top, so that it looks like the period still, okay? And this is one of two cellars. The other cellar is on the back side of this, but they would have used this as a cellar to keep goods, dry and wet goods in here. Really, in doing some of this, I would encourage anybody to come out and take a look at Stricker Ranch. On top of this, on top of Rock Creek Station and what's here, there's also the home site, which Lucy and Herman Stricker lived in. That was such a big deal Such a beautiful home. You can also take a tour of that. There's also a small museum next to the pavilion that gives you more an understanding of what's going on and the indigenous people that were here prior to this stage stop coming up. And then if you go farther west, there's actually a cemetery that you can get into as well. This is a fascinating place and something that I would encourage everybody to come out to. It is kind of a drive. It's about 10-15 minutes south of Kimberly, but something that is just fascinating that's here in our local area. Let me go down into this last cellar to show you exactly what's going on down here. This cellar might be a little darker because it doesn't get the sun, but there you can see it here. This cellar is bigger. It comes down a rock staircase with the handle there. But this is the other cellar. The two, there was a hole in, I think it was in the south cellar, and I think this one was deteriorating as well. We've redone the roof, which you can't really tell there either. But anyway, but these are the two cellars and the Rock Creek Station, along with the home site over to the east of the park. So if you get a chance, come out here, take a look at it. If not, this is at least giving you a brief overview of what's out here and what you can take a look at and what you can do. Stricker / the Rock Creek Station is such an important piece to Magic Valley history, right? This is where people were coming in on the Oregon Trail and stopping on the Kelton Road and stopping. They would get their goods here and continue on either to Oregon, or they would set up shop. And we've got a lot of our families that came up through this area. And so I'd encourage you all to come out. I hope that this has been informative. Let me know if there's something else in the valley that you'd be interested in me taking a look at. Otherwise, I'll catch you later.